Yesterday, the IDF entered the Palestinian hotbed city of Jenin to arrest 2 wanted terrorists. When they were on their way out of the city, along with their prisoners, their convoy was struck by an IED, and 7 Israeli soldiers were wounded. The situation deteriorated so rapidly that the IDF had to call in airstrikes via attack helicopters to assist in extracting the wounded team, something that has not happened here in more than 20 years. If you simply open your social media this morning, however, you'll find images of journalists hiding from supposed IDF sniper fire and Palestinians in hospitals taking cover from supposed Israeli fire. One man even called for immediate sanctions on Israel for their brutality in constantly attacking the poor Palestinians. We're here to set the record straight. I'm Luke, and this is the Israel Guys. Hello and welcome to the Israel Guys, where we believe that in a world of anti-Israel propaganda and Jew hatred, you should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. Guys, before we dive into the crazy events of yesterday and today here in Israel, just want to remind you that we have a couple of programs coming up in Israel, and we want to invite you to join us. The 2-week harvest trip, which is our most popular trip of the year, is actually completely full. So full we had to cut off registration. But you can sign up for the tree planting trip. It's a 2-week trip, October 17th through November 6th. And that is specifically a volunteer program for planting trees. Lots of hard work. Or if you don't want to work quite so hard and you still want to get the similar type of experience, you can sign up for the Heartland Experience trip, November 27th through December 10th. It's more of a biblical heartland tour with a little bit of volunteer meaningful service thrown in there. You can check out these 2 trips as well as other trips all at serveisrael.com/volunteer. Find out more there or click the link. We'll have it down in the description below. So something happened in Jenin yesterday, a Palestinian Arab city in Samaria. If you're seeing it on the news, they're probably calling it the West Bank. But this has not happened in more than 20 years. We're talking about 2002. We'll show you footage of what happened in just a minute. But first, as I was researching online for today's topic, I came across this video on Twitter. Let's roll that now.
The city of Jenin is once again being brutally attacked by the Israeli military. The people of the city, the people of Jenin, are valiantly standing up, courageously trying to fight against this massive war machine with barely any resources. The world has to stand up for Jenin today. The world has to support Jenin today. We must demand an end to the killing of Palestinians. We must demand defense for the Palestinian people. We must demand protection for the Palestinian people against the Israeli brutality. There must be sanctions put in place immediately to end Israeli brutality against the Palestinians. The world must speak up for Jenin today. The world must speak up for Palestine today and do it loud and clear.
Now, before I tell you the real story of what happened in Jenin yesterday, I want you to pay attention to a couple of key words that Mike says in this video. First, he says Jenin is being, quote, brutally attacked by the Israeli military. Without knowing any details of the story, he has already planted the narrative in your brain that the IDF is brutal. He then says that the, quote, people of Jenin are valiantly standing up and courageously trying to fight, unquote. After you've got it in your brain that the Israeli military is brutal, and now your brain has been led to believe that while under brutal attack by the enemy, the civilians in Jenin are courageous and valiant, simply by standing up to their enemies, and they're doing so with barely any resources. He then goes on to say that we must demand an end to the killing of Palestinians. He has now aligned the viewer, which is you and I, with the poor Palestinian people who are courageously standing in Jenin against their brutal occupier. He goes on to say that the world, meaning us, must demand an end to the killing of the Palestinian people. We must demand protection for the Palestinian people against Israeli brutality. We must demand sanctions against Israel. We must speak up for Palestinians today. Again, this video, which I have no doubt has been seen by at least thousands of people across social media, gives the viewer 0 facts about what actually happened in Jenin. By using narrative storytelling, however, this man suddenly causes you to side with the Palestinian people by simply using a few key words. Israel equals brutal occupying force. Palestinian people of Jenin equals courageous, valiant citizens who are simply standing for what is right. Do you see what this anti-Israel narrative is doing to you, to me, as the viewer? Now that we've got that straight, here's what really happened in Jenin yesterday. Israel 365 has written a book that every Bible believer should own in their home. We already ordered our copy and are excited to tell you about it. 75 Hebrew words you need to understand the Bible by our friends and partners at Israel 365 is a beautifully crafted book that explains, translates, and unlocks the hidden meanings of 75 core Hebrew words. Each word is accompanied by an in-depth essay exploring its significance, connections to related Hebrew words, and the secrets only accessible through the original language. Featuring translated and transliterated verses in their proper biblical context, stunning visuals, and an elegant design, this exceptional book is a valuable resource for Bible study, a captivating conversation starter, and an ideal gift for loved ones. Use our link down in the description below to pre-order your copy today. Don't miss this opportunity. Get your copy today at a special discounted pre-order price. The book will be shipping in June 2023, which is right now, so now is the perfect time to get your copy and take the first step toward unlocking the secrets of the Hebrew Bible. Click the link in the description below to pre-order today. So the IDF and the Israel Border Police entered the Palestinian Arab city of Jenin yesterday, and their mission was to arrest 2 wanted terrorists. Jenin is one of the most volatile and hotbed cities in Judea and Samaria, what the world calls the West Bank. So while on the raid to arrest these 2 wanted terrorists, the IDF came under heavy fire. Firefight ensued. The Palestinian Ministry of Health is already reporting that 5 terrorists were killed. But despite all of this, the IDF managed to arrest the terrorists that they went in to get. And they're on their way back out of the city, okay? They're withdrawing from the city. Now, there's video footage of this. We'll put it up on the screen so you can see it for yourself. While on their way out of the city, along with the terrorists that they had arrested, a roadside bomb was thrown, exploded. Basically, an IED was exploded right on top of an IDF vehicle, end up injuring 7 Israeli soldiers and border police officers combined. I think there was about 4 of them that were what they call moderately injured, which usually is terminology for pretty serious injuries. And there was another 3 who were lightly injured, which also usually means that they were injured enough to be like hospitalized. So bombs explode, and this particular team ends up getting stranded inside Jenin, right? Obviously, they're getting bombs thrown at them. They're under heavy fire. The IDF sends in a rescue helicopter to pick up the wounded team. And while the rescue helicopter picks them up on his way out of the city, the helicopter comes under heavy fire, and it gets so bad that the IDF has to send in Apache attack helicopters to assist the rescue helicopter and the stranded soldiers, and actually opens fire on terrorists specifically a group of terrorists on the rooftop of a building. This is crazy because this is the first time Israeli helicopters, like military helicopters, have been used in an operation to take out targets since the height of the Second Intifada in 2002. So this was a pretty, out of all the missions and things that happened here, this was pretty wild because they actually had to call in attack helicopters. These helicopters are shooting missiles and opening fire on terrorists from the air. It's pretty wild, and you can see the footage up on the screen. So a lot of yesterday, heavy fighting was reported in Jenin for a lot of Monday, but by about 6:30 p.m. last night, the IDF reported that the operation was over and that they had withdrawn all their forces from Jenin. So just remember, IDF has a mission to accomplish, right? Their mission yesterday was go arrest 2 wanted terrorists. We're talking about would-be murderers who are going to kill Jews and Israelis if they're not stopped, right? They go in to arrest them and they get back out. It could have been a really simple, easy, quiet mission, right? Go in, arrest 2 people, get out, go home. Everybody's fine. But no, it turned into a major operation. And unfortunately, people were injured. But thankfully, everyone was able to get out and go home and keep the soldiers who were in the hospital injured in your prayers. But if you've been monitoring social media, you've probably seen videos going around purporting to show Palestinian Arabs and journalists hiding and ducking from IDF fire in Jenin. I want to look at a couple of these videos. These are specifically from Twitter. You can check out the links yourself down in the description below. Put all the source links down so you guys can check this out. But Document Israel, a Twitter user, posted these 2 videos along with this tweet. The first video has this statement. It says, such scam artists. These guys are outside the hospital pretending to take cover from IDF supposedly shooting at the hospital. Yet they're facing the hospital and their backs toward where the IDF would be. This is the outside section opposite the other video I posted. So, and there's 2 videos that we'll talk about the second one in a second, but you can see for yourself in this video. Number one, this one guy's just chilling next to his bike on the sidewalk. But one thing that's really key that will give away what's really happening here is on the right side of the video, you see a news camera on a tripod set up, okay? So that's key. Just remember that. But these guys are just chilling. They're facing the hospital. And supposedly they're hiding from IDF fire, but number one, there's like you can't see or hear any, you can't see any fire in the building, in the area, in the video, and the dude's just chilling on the ground, like just sitting there. Okay, so I'm gonna say that this was probably all just put on for the camera, but let's take a look at the second video, which again by Twitter user Document Israel, and he said along with this one. First reporters were claimed to be shot at by IDF soldiers. Now the hospital in Jenin. This is from the hospital lobby. Total Pallywood going on here. Note many of the faces are not afraid. Some are very relaxed and some even smiling, like the guy in the screenshot I took. Again, notice the news camera on the right side of the frame, as well as several journalists in flak jackets and helmets with the blue press badges on their flak jackets. But watch this video. A couple times if you have to, check the link out, because what you notice is it's like, it's on, and just imagine, they call action, everybody rushes in and ducks down on the floor, but within like a second and a half, 2 seconds, guys get up and start walking back and forth across the lobby. People are smiling, acting totally relaxed, and then all of a sudden it's like, they go, oh no, you're supposed to be pretending again, and they start running around and maybe ducking a little bit again. But again, no Israeli fire. IDF does not shoot at hospitals. IDF does not shoot at journalists. They don't shoot at reporters. But what is the key? The camera is in the frame. You see the news. You see the news there. You see cameras. Then everyone is going to put on a very, very good show. Guys, make no mistake. Jenin is a complete hotbed of terrorist activity. And you can be sure that the act of simply arresting wanted terrorists will result in things like lies, propaganda videos, attacks against Israel, and unfortunately for the rest of the world, emotional, compelling, narrative-based calls to action for people like us to boycott and sanction Israel so that we can better stand with the courageous people of Jenin against the brutal occupation of Israel. Unfortunately, those courageous people who Mike Peled wants you to stand with are murdering terrorists who will stop at nothing to kill and maim as many Jews as possible, and it gives a bad name to the real Palestinian Arab people who actually don't want to be involved in terror, and they don't want to murder Jews, and they simply want to live in peace. So Mike Peled, please stop producing lie-filled videos that call on the world to stand with murdering terrorists in the land of Israel who want to murder Jews. And guys, don't believe the lies that you see on social media, mainstream media, or anywhere else on the internet. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any other content from the Israel Guys. We're here every Monday through Friday. Don't forget to pick up your copy of 75 Hebrew Words You Need to Understand the Bible. Link down in the description below. As always, tune out the fake news and tune into what is actually happening here in the land of Israel. We're here every single day of the week with your direct connection to the land and people of Israel.